There we go. Oh, there you are, Perry. Hi. Um, it's in the morning. I'm gonna love ya. It's in the morning. Yeah, it's about 5 in the morning. I can't sleep. Um, got my crystals. I didn't even realize it was 5:30 in the morning. I just finished a reading or receiving it. Anyway, um, it's gonna be a quickie. This is about unions. I've been getting some downloads lately, and then I felt like I don't know why this is important to even talk about at 5:30 in the morning. That's not why we do. You're not gonna question it. Whatever. Yes. So let's talk about unions and divinity real quick, because I'm noticing now that the spirit community is growing, getting larger by the day, by the hour, by the moment. And so tapping into and be, indoctrinating yourself into, becoming a part of being initiated into all those good things, learning about the spirit and communities and things is like a new study in the university. Is like medical school. Like you first have to learn a whole bunch of words that you're gonna hear a lot that mean absolutely nothing without context. Right. So just real quick, because when it comes to like love readings or like unions or like past life regressions or like future readings, things of that nature, when there's people involved, usually you get these relational words. Yeah. Words like karmic, words like twin flames, soulmates, divine masculine, divine feminine, you know, sister souls, like like they're all pretty much, they're very different actually. The one thing that they all are is soul ties, and also entanglements, I guess, because each relationship means something different. But like, for instance, you're twins because we have more than one soulmate, we have more than one twin flame, is simply a person who is so much like you in certain ways that you are basically the same person, but also different from you in certain ways that you are like polar opposites, right? So in certain ways you are simpatico, but in other ways you also clash profusely, because these are people who you are supposed to learn lessons about yourself from in just who you are as a person, right? Then you have your karmics, right? Those are always good. Karmics are your relationships for a reason or a season, um, to lead to a blessing or a lesson. Karmics teach us things about how we've been and our patterns and certain behaviors that are and are not good for us. But these are things that usually happen slowly or very, very quickly. It's like a very like Scorpio tower, or like a Sagittarius chariot in reverse type of thing, where like it's very either like it happens or it doesn't. But these are the relationships in your life that usually you see as like a bad experience or an uncomfortable period, or just like this time of growth where you start off in the relationship as one thing, but then you end out that relationship and realizing that you yourself are something completely different now. Your life will forever be changed. Then you have your divine counterparts. Now this is a good one. These ones are your relationships for a lifetime and the types of um loves that you find in one life that transcend just that life, like the type of people and relationships that you seem to come across in every lifetime in different forms and bodies. But these are people who are part of your like spirit team, right? People who um know you inside and out and and love you unconditionally and support you in all the ways that are healthy for you and your growth as a person, right? Um, a lot of times, divines we don't even usually get to see in our lifetimes, in our physical lifetimes anyway. They're usually like passed on loved ones, ancestors, ascended masters, like guardian angels, sometimes even archangels. Um, when they do show up in the physical, it's usually somebody who like is very similar to like a regular soulmate or like twin flame kind of energy where you're very alike, or at least when you're together, your energies support one another and build to become a bigger, greater, singular energy. Um, these are the types of connections where, and it's usually like a masculine feminine type of thing, like a dichotomy or like a polarization, like it's a yin and a yang that come together to create one whole, like this person's light illuminates this person's shadow and vice versa and things. And it's usually like that type of like you when you come across these types of people or relationships in your life, you kind of instantly know that it is what it is there's usually like a jolt, like an energetic sensation, like a flashback, or like a just like a feeling or a knowing of just like this is right for me and I should go with this. um Hardest to find, but when you're around these types of energies in the physical, it's like your intuition is on like 1,000. And sometimes you might even see this person in spirit before the physical, if it so chooses to happen this way. These are also those connections that are very, very supernatural. Like there are some types of relationships that you have where like you can kind of feel where another person is in relation to you, or feel empathically like another person's thoughts or feelings, or like where you can be in the same physical space as this person, focusing on different things, but yet you still have the same reaction or behavior in the same way or at the same time to completely different things. Or like those types of relationships where like, especially when you're like in like a hazy thought space, or like a frazzled emotional space, like you can feel this person's energy like supporting and comforting you. Or like the types of relationships where you'll literally like see people in your dreams and you know who they are, type things like that. um it's important to kind of be able to sift through and sense and see and know which is which and who is who in your life, because each person, each relationship fosters and like grows and maintains and sustains like this level of growth and evolution in your life. But a lot of these types of relationships or type of people aren't meant to be in your life for a lifetime. A lot of times, like especially with karmics, but even sometimes with like twin flames and sometimes even divines, it's like you'll only meet this person or they'll only be in your life or you will only have this opportunity or be in this space for as long as it takes for you to get that growth or learn that lesson or achieve that end goal or whatever it is at that point, you know. But um usually, and this is like something that I've learned over the years and just have picked up on, most of the time you'll know what type of person this person is or in what capacity they're supposed to be in your life normally after you go through something. You learn something or you graduate to a new level of something and be like, okay, well, now I do have this new and better and greater understanding, or I am this bigger, better, more evolved person, or, you know, shit, that was rough, but we made it. And so then you look around and see the types of people that are in your life or surround you at that point. It tells you a lot about where you are, you know, in your own individual space in your life and even just in that moment in time and as like a snapshot of your experience, your thoughts, your emotions, like your situation and station and agency in life. Excuse me, it's early. Um, but yeah, it's usually like after you go through something, especially something heavy, especially times where you know where you get through a situation, you look around and some people didn't make it all the way to the end of the finish line with you, you know. You may have had to cut ties with somebody or somebody unfortunately passed or life took you in a completely separate direction from somebody else and you look around and be like, well, damn, now that I'm looking at my life, you know, from a more detached perspective, I'm seeing that all of these different types of people are the same, or I only run into these specific types of people when I'm feeling this way or doing these things or at these certain times in life, or anytime I look up, this type of person is always there. Or, you know, just like it's a very synchronistic, like almost kind of like blink and you'll miss it type of thing because a lot of people can pretend to be something that they're not in your life. And if you're not looking for the signs or paying attention to what's there in front of you and what's, you know, how you're moving through your own life, you can keep a lot of things and people around you that shouldn't be there, and that holds up your growth. So that's another huge way to know if somebody is not for you or meant to be in your life because it won't feel good. You'll always be uncomfortable or you'll just start noticing things like I'm losing things more often or myself is not as together as I usually am or I'm just not growing, changing and evolving and you know, I'm not seeing a good enough reason why, but I am noticing that all of these same people are still around me. And you know, those are like the biggest red flags of like, okay, I need to do better, be better, or this person or situation is not currently or should be a part of my life. Maybe I'm repeating a grade or something. Um, but I'm not gonna go on like forever about it. I'm like gonna kind of leave this just about here. But what I will close this out with is the four-person rule. Now, this is something that, especially in my more recent years, I've been learning to implement and advocate as a part of my life and one of my values, the four-person rule, right? So, the four-person rule states that when you come across a group of people, any four people, there is one common denominator that brings those four people together. And you coming together to be a part of those people makes you the fifth person. Now, whatever that common denominator is that bring those four people together, whatever it is that brings those same people together and makes them one thing, you being a part of that group makes you that thing, right? So you hang out with four successful people, they're going to build you up to be successful. You hang out with four idiots, y'all going to be the cast of jackass. Like you hang out with investors, you're gonna learn how to save and budget. You hang out with gamblers, you always gonna be looking for the next scheme and the next quick dollar type things. And it's like just knowing again what type of people and situations and places you surround yourself with will tell you kind of where your head and mind and space and station and success is in life, or those lessons that you need to be learning and focusing on at that moment, because the people around you are then a mirror of a reflection of you in some capacity. And it takes you being able to look at them and then look at yourself and see the resemblance. And if you don't see one, maybe you're not looking, or maybe you're looking too hard. Some things are just not as complicated as they seem, and some things you do have to take a little, extra look at sometimes. But that's what I have. My name BK. This has been why am I still up this morning with BK? Subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next one, probably very shortly. But we will get there when we get there, and I'll see you there. And thank you.